Hi, and thanks for watching Viewpoint, Hexagon Safety and Infrastructure and Geospatial's Division vodcast series, and I'm your host, Jack Williams. You know, for utilities and communication companies, the ability to leverage cloud-based capabilities for network management, for GIS capabilities, it can deliver many benefits across the enterprise. And Oracle, commonly known, has transformed how organizations in this space, the users and the customers, can both utilize these systems while getting that scalability, that security, and that high availability options to our operators. And in this episode, where we're going to be talking about putting the utility network management and GIS in the cloud, we'll have Jean-Francois, who's our Director of Utilities and Communications here at Hexagon and EMEA, and Don Lorente, who is a Technical Director of Utilities and Communications at Hexagon Safety, Infrastructure, and Geospatial. And we're going to talk today about cloud technology trends, specifically in the utilities and communication space, as well as our recent announcement that Hexagon's Networks is being added to the Oracle's cloud marketplace, which is something we're very excited about. So first off, Jean-Francois and Don, welcome to Viewpoint.
Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. Happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you both. I enjoy working with you, and it's great to have you a part of this discussion. So let's jump right to it. So cloud technology isn't new. All right, we know that, right? But it's taken a while, and utilities and communications is not unique in this respect, but it has taken a while to gain what I call that critical mass in certain industries, and this could be considered one of them. But why don't you tell me what are the current adoption trends that you see as it relates to the cloud and utilities and communication? What factors are driving those trends? What's the momentum or lack of momentum? Kind of where are we at? What are you seeing in the marketplace? And Jean-Francois, I'll start with you.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, you are right. This is a momentum. So currently we see a real attraction into cloud platforms. In my opinion, the main driver for this adoption has been the need to work from home due to the COVID pandemic. It has been a real boost. And it has shown in life how robust and secure can be a hosted platform. It has removed the last barriers to move forward to hosted platforms. So this was really a big boost. And this is the trend we see. Currently, this is clearly attraction is there. Many customers that are already or customers are planning now to move their IT infrastructure partially or totally, completely to the cloud. So what we can say today is that the current trend in the UNC space is mainly toward IaaS, so infrastructure as a service, not really SaaS. You need the SaaS, the software as a service, is not yet there because currently our customers are still just moving what they know, the on-prem to the cloud. So this is the first step. The next step will be the SaaS for sure.
Excellent. And Don, I mean, do you have anything to add to what Jean-Francois said? I mean, it sounds like infrastructure as a service, seems to be kind of the push and kind of walking it forward. What are your thoughts? What do you see, Don?
Well, just in general, I think that utilities are a little bit slower to adopt the whole cloud technology compared to other industries, but it's important to know that it's not a new concept for them. A lot of the utilities have been operating private cloud for years, but they're typically cautious when it comes to adopting new technologies, especially if they rely on other people's infrastructure. But the cloud technology now, the networks are becoming more resilient. Security on the cloud has been proven. The cloud service levels are reaching the point where they're higher than the on-prem solutions. So the idea of moving to a commercial cloud from a provider like Oracle is really gaining ground, and they're able to get the trust of the utilities. So now we're seeing, now that trust's been proven, we're seeing a trend to more and more utilities and communication customers deploying on the cloud, so they don't have to provision and manage those clouds themselves.
Excellent. Thanks, Dawn. So let's jump over here and just kind of throw this out, Jean-Francois. Okay, I'm a utility, gas, water, electric. I'm a telco provider. I play in somewhere in this UNC space. I'm familiar with the cloud. I'm familiar with the concepts, scalability, better security, resiliency. But what's really captivating people and pushing them to move to the cloud and moving that infrastructure, what I call that critical infrastructure, those critical IT systems to the cloud? Is it really just to reduce those maintenance and infrastructure costs, those startup costs? Is it to improve day-to-day operations? Is it to help them prepare for the future? I guess what's the major benefit that is becoming very apparent today for the folks that you talk to in the space that's really helping to move that momentum towards the cloud? Jean-Francois?
I will answer, yeah. I think you have highlighted most of the points, but I think we can start very basically. Moving to the cloud first is a question of space. So the first point, and that our customers are highlighting, is that moving to the cloud, it's a benefit for them because they are moving all the space they were using that was dedicated to the IT infrastructure. It's moving to the cloud. So it's a gain in space. So it's very basic, but this is the first remark. Furthermore, scaling the capacity up and down is extremely easy. When you don't have to normally when you have to scale up, the first thing you have to do when you are working on-prem, you have to think about buying hardware. When you are in the cloud, you don't have to think about that. It's just pushing a button up, down, and you have more or less capacity. Performance is not an issue anymore in the cloud. So I think the customers all customers who already moved to the cloud, they don't think anymore about capacity. They just know if they need more capacity, just going to a website and just increase the capacity and the performance of their infrastructure. On the other side, and this is again due to the COVID. So most of our customers discovered the risks they have by being connected to on the web, on the internet. So I think the high level of security that cloud platforms can offer is a very plus point for the industry, not only the utilities, but the whole industry. So those guys maintaining the cloud platforms, they know what's about cybersecurity. They have the expert. They're following the market. They know what are the risks and how to compensate those risks. So it became I think cybersecurity became a major focus for our customers in the past 2 years, and they had to create from scratch security departments. Can you imagine? So they had to learn what it is, to hire new people, to maintain the people, to be sure that they retain the knowledge. So it's very complex. We have to admit it's not an easy task. Furthermore, so you have to invest constantly in trainings, in security system, in specific software. So by moving to the infrastructure to the cloud, so the major part of the security aspects are delegated to the hosting platform. And the big point for me and for our customers that, again, they can focus to the core business. I think this is the major benefit for our customers.
Yeah, and that kind of seems like an obvious point there. I mean, it allows them to focus on what they're doing and their core business and their core value chain. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so and Dawn, feel free to chime in on this as well. We just recently launched networks, Hexagon Networks, and we really tout this capability, Jean-Francois and Dawn, of being powered by the Oracle Cloud expertise. We're a partner, a very close partner with Oracle. We're listed on their Oracle Marketplace. Our network solution is exclusively hosted on the Oracle Cloud. What does that mean? Explain that to our customers. Like, what is that advantage, that ability to partner with Oracle, to be a preferred partner in this space? and our Hexagon network solutions being able to be deployed on this? What is the benefit? What does that mean to the customers? What would that mean to someone who looks and says, okay, all right, I in general think I like the cloud. I see the benefits. I see the cost savings, the operational efficiencies, the ability to focus more on my core business. What does this Oracle partnership with Hexagon Networks mean for our customers or for potential prospects? Jean-Francois?
Yeah, so there are many potential outcomes for us. So the first one, I see that the current trend in the energy and water business is that we see that different companies are merging together. So, and they want to benefit from the same common IT platform. This is clearly a trend. So, and the big advantage of Oracle's platform is that natively it's multi-tenant. So this means that we can provide for our customer a solution to group all the customers connected to the same platform. So they can directly connect and benefit from the same resource, the same performance, and the same security, even if they manage their own assets, independently from the other users of the platform. This is a great benefit that Oracle can provide us. The second interest I see is on the maintenance of our platform. We can upgrade our platform when required without impacting the business continuity. Upgrades and fixes are distributed transparently, providing regularly new capabilities to our customers. It's very, very nice and very changing the way we are making business currently. And the final benefit I see is that the easiness we have seen to guarantee availability of the platform, and in worst case to recover from scratch in few minutes the entire system is really wonderful. So you can imagine you have a full blackout, and in few minutes you recover everything with no loss of data. So our midterm goal is to offer through the marketplace we have in Oracle website pre-configured environment for utilities and telecom customers, so that they could start deploy our system in few clicks in a very limited time frame. Very, very easy. Maybe Don, you can add some interesting things about that.
Yeah, I'll jump in here just for a bit. I think, like, our large customers, they've got a pretty good cloud strategy going already, and Oracle Cloud is a big part of that for them. I think what this offering gives us is the ability to look at the medium and the smaller tier customers as well. There's an awful lot of utilities there that are in this class, and the Hexagon solution, the network solution, has been traditionally known as a Cadillac. It's like the best in the industry. But with that, there was a fairly heavy investment from an infrastructure perspective to get that up and running. As you mentioned, having a pre-configured environment that's hosted on the cloud means that they're able to do that much cheaper now, and with much less investment on their own part. So I think it just opens up the market to some of those middle and smaller tier customers.
Yes, I think you kind of answered what was potentially my next question is, what are those new opportunities that this opens up? And, like you said, Don, historically, Hexagon Networks has been, kind of viewed as the Cadillac, which means, as a Cadillac, I'm assuming that has some context that it might be a little bit more on the upper end of the price scale. But now with the cloud, we can take those Cadillac capabilities and roll them out to small to mid-tier utilities and telcos and say, look, we have an affordable solution with a proven, credible, experienced team product that's been in the business, that's been doing utility network management for a long time. And we can provide that to you at a price point that you can afford without you having to host all that infrastructure. Is that right? I mean, is that some of what this opens up? I think you just mentioned that, but is there anything you want to add to that? I mean, because that sounds very exciting if I'm a small or mid-tier customer.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It just enables those small and mid-tier customers to adopt the best in the industry and get a system that will work for them, just like it works for the big customers.
Just curious, like what would you say that those folks rely upon today for this type of solution? Are they going with subpar solutions? Are they going with sort of a homegrown custom thing? I mean, what do they do today, and what could we potentially open up by offering this?
I don't think there's really anything in the industry today that has all the capabilities of the network solution for that tier. There's some mapping solutions and there's some drawing solutions, but there's no connected model solution that is enterprise class at that tier. And so I think this cloud offering enables us to give those customers this type of a solution.
Awesome. Excellent. I mean, that's very exciting. So thanks for clarifying that. So let's talk about just moving forward. How do you see the industry evolving? With cloud, with other aspects. All right, let's take for utilities, for example, with the advent of electric vehicles, distributed energy resource management, intelligent power plants, outage management, ADMS. I mean, there's a lot going on in an industry that, let's be honest, it was kind of a one-way street for a good while. Now that one-way street's a bi-directional interstate. That grid that was built maybe a while back now has to be able to accommodate some ever-evolving requirements. How does cloud fit into that? With it becoming more common in the utilities and communication space, especially with things like the rollout of more fiber. How do you see the industry evolving with regards to what cloud brings to the table, or what infrastructure as a service or having a hosted solution brings to the table? Jean-Francois?
Yeah, it's a very good question, because when we think to industry, I think automatically we think to our customer, but first we have to look to what we do. And I think this is also impacting completely the way we are doing business and the way we are in developing and implementing our solutions. So first of all, it's impacting our solution. So we have started 2 or 3 years ago a very wide and very deep project inside our R&D to refresh and change the way we are licensing our solutions. So we have to go to a license per request. As I said before, our customers are currently looking for the infrastructure as a service, but we know that the next step will be software as a service. And for that, you have to provide a pay-per-use model. And this is something we didn't know, we didn't have in the past, and we made a lot of effort to change the way we are making software to enable this kind of licensing. So, and it's available now. So they can just evaluate the workload they will have on a specific period of time, so on a monthly, yearly base, and they will just pay for what they are using or what they are forecasting. So it's the first step. We know it. So, but more technically, our software center is now concentrating on moving as much as possible to the web service technology. So a lot of the back office, less on the front office and on the GUI side. So because we need to think about containerization, Docker-like solution. This is where we need to go to this way. So the goal for us is to be able to finally deliver a cloud-native solution. This is a very big challenge. We have really to completely change the way we are implementing, the technology we are using, also the mindset of our teams. Another evolution beside this is that is the multi-cloud. So is the ability to link different cloud platforms through high bandwidth connections. And Oracle recently announced such an agreement with Microsoft, so that you can host your data inside the Oracle platform, and you can host your client side, the Windows platform, inside the Microsoft Azure platform. And this is clearly something that will grow over time. So we understand now that our customers, they are not only looking for the best price, but they are looking for performance, for the most suitable platform for the solution they have in-house. So, and that's why the multi-cloud or hybrid clouds is the future, I think, and that's why also our R&D is currently investigating all the different platforms to understand which platform will be able to support or to sustain which specific process we need to provide to our customer.
Hey, Don, you got anything to add there on how you see the industry evolving?
I do. And you mentioned a whole bunch of disruptive technologies within the industry. And all of those changes within the industry, which are going to drive changes to the way the utility operates, how they manage the grid, how they get power into the grid, it all requires the network model. And it requires that network model be connected to all the other systems, which are also moving to the cloud. So now you have Hexagon in the cloud with their network. They have all these other systems in the cloud which require the network information. And so we see too, as JF mentioned, internally we're going to web services. We're also seeing that there's a demand to integrate to all those other enterprise applications which are also in the cloud. So traditionally we've had interfaces to our system, but they've been kind of left in the in 20-year-old technology staging schemas, etc., peer-to-peer interfaces. The cloud is making all those services based. So utilities are refactoring all of their interfaces, making them more real time. More real time means that the end user is able to get a more holistic experience because they're getting data from all the different enterprise systems. They're able to do more complex workflows, which drives efficiency for the organization, and you get more productive employees, which in turn makes the utility be able to deliver more reliable services to their customers in a much more timely manner. So I think it all comes down to efficiencies and delivering good service to your customers. But I think the cloud adoption for applications is really driving some new technologies on the interface side, as well as what JF mentioned we're doing on our back end.
Awesome stuff there, Don. And with that, when you were talking about that made a lot of sense to me. And so I've been doing some research in preparation for this podcast, and I was recently looking at some Gartner reports, and they talked about, and this sounds a lot like what you were just talking about, this concept of composable architecture, which is really a services-based architecture. And when you're Hexagon Networks and you're the network model, meaning that is the source of truth of how your linear network or fiber network or gas or water network is laid out, and the topology and relationships involved. That network model has to be relayed to all these other systems. They're moving to the cloud. Networks is now on the cloud. And with web services-based architecture, you can compose additional new workflows that bring new value. To me, and I don't know if you guys have heard that term, do you feel like that's what it is? I mean, is that the trend you're seeing? Things need to be linked up in the cloud, services-based architecture, so that you can compose new value and new operational workflows in a quicker, more real time. I mean, what do you think about that term? Am I crazy?
No, it's completely true. So, this concept exists already for a long time. It was in the past, it was called edge computing. And I think Hexagon has invested a lot of money, and a lot of concepts have been created by Hexagon in this idea of edge computing. So this is really, you don't do the integration anymore on-prem, but you do the integration in the cloud. And the big advantage and the big benefit is that instead of combining, integrating the data, being into the cloud gives you the ability to integrate data that but also all the data around that is coming from outside. And this is, I think, mainly in the utilities. Can you imagine that instead of thinking that you replace a transfer every 5 years, because 5 years, this is the typical age, a transfer has to be replaced. But instead of that you go and you search in the cloud, outside your company, and you look for all the information related to this type of transfer. For example, looking for known problems, for impacts of starting and stopping the transfer, weather information, how many times has been this transfer impacted by freezing. This information is coming from outside. Can you imagine that you can take this information, integrate this information in your solution because you're in the cloud, and take the right solution? I think we just see today the top of the iceberg. We can do much more than what we can imagine. So yeah, I fully agree with you. This is just the beginning, but there is no limit today. I'm sure.
Yeah, well, all right. So this, I'm wrapping up here. So a common question I ask at the end of Viewpoint now is, I want to see if you guys have anything you want to leave me with, some parting wisdom, something else you'd like to mention, any parting thoughts to share with the audience as we wrap up. Dawn, I'll start with you. Is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap up here?
I think just on that last topic, we have like the cloud, especially when it's connected to all the other systems, it really unlocks the data of the various enterprise systems and marries them together into those workflows and makes it available to the masses within the organization. So we really are taking it out of the department and making it an enterprise system. And I think there's, as JF mentioned, there's tons of untapped potential there.
Excellent. Jean-Francois, do you have anything you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah, maybe two different aspects. Maybe the most challenging one, it's maybe looking to our own organization. Having pushed the collaboration with Oracle, so I see how it works. But believe me, it's a great and challenging change for all of my colleagues, not only technical people but also the sales. Can you imagine that we are moving from a all-in-one or all-in sales approach where we provide the whole solution to deliver on-prem to a pure cloud-based, service-based approach. So it's a really a challenge for our sales because they need to completely, they have to sell different solutions. It's the same solution, but instead of selling the box, you have to sell all the service around. You have to provide much more certainty to the customer that everything we run every day. So this is the major challenge I see for the sales. Beside this, I hear very often for the people starting looking to what's cloud-based solution, they always start by identifying risks. So it will fail. It's a big risk. It will not work. Blah blah blah. Believe me, I've seen. So we made a proof of concept during 4 months with Oracle. So I learned together with them, also with my own idea about what's cloud and what could be difficult. But believe me, this is a major solution. So today you can really move easily your on-prem platform to the cloud with a minimum level of risk. So this is what is very impressive. So what I would like to say as a conclusion from myself is that moving to the cloud is not a risk, really.
Excellent. Hey, I got a little tagline, right? So moving to the cloud so you can perform for today and transform for tomorrow. How about that? Like that? All right. Sorry, guys. I'm cheesy sometimes. I'd like to say a big thank you from West Virginia, U.S. I'd like to say thanks to Jean-Francois, who's over in Belgium. Thanks for taking the time this evening. And I'd like to say thank you to Dawn Lorente up in Canada. I really appreciate you guys joining Viewpoint and sharing your thoughts about cloud and the utilities and communication space. I found it very informative. Hopefully our audience did as well. I'd like to tell everybody else, thanks for watching the Viewpoint, and for more great stories, video, and content, please see hexagon.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.